Welcome back. So we're just continuing with the refurbishment of this 1983 Rapido 410 Randonneur backpacker. Thought somebody might be interested in this. It's a 1.4 litre 43 horsepower Renault inline 4. And everybody will be saying, how do you run a motorhome with only 1.4 litres? Well, if you remember back in 1983, for those who can, most cars were running 1.1 or 1.3 litre motors. If you were really doing well, you got a 1.6. It was almost unheard of to have 2 litres. They were definitely for the executives. So this is typical of what most cars are running around in. And the way you overcome moving a 2-ton vehicle around with 43 horsepower is you put very low gears in it. So I don't have a rev counter on it, but I'm going to put one. But I would imagine that this is going to be doing about 5,000 RPM at 60 miles an hour, but we'll see. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, that distributor has points in it. No electronics in this vehicle at all. No ECU, no OBD2, nothing. So it's real simple. No air conditioning, no power steering, just plain and simple engineering. Those of you who are old enough to remember Morris Minors or things like that, this is the French equivalent of the A-series engine, as basic as they get. That is a carburetor, no fuel injection. So yes, it's fairly basic, but it's only done 111,000 kilometers, which I think is about 80,000 miles in 42 years. So it's not been overused. But anyway, it's going to get a good refurbishment anyway. Clean up service. We'll do that later on. Okay, so. Oh, nice. So it's just started inside. Now you have to bear with me because it's 27 degrees at the moment and it's going to get up to 33 today. So I'm a bit limited by how much work I can do outside. We don't have a garage or a shed or anything like that. But just started to dismantle the shower. So this side panel came out quite easily. Just inside this wardrobe, we have a bunch of wood screws. So I'm not sure how original some of this is. And I was kind of hoping that the shower panel itself here would extend all the way back, and it hasn't. So I don't think we're going to be able to reuse that. But we will reuse the shower pan. And the next thing I've got to do is take off this panel here, same thing. A bunch of screws behind this seat. So that does not look original to me. And then I'm going to get some more plywood or MDF maybe. Don't know, probably plywood, covered plywood. Create a wall in front here and turn the whole shower panel through 90 degrees. And move it down a bit, because the next thing to do is to take out these chairs. They're already loose, but I've just got a couple of bolts down there to remove, and then I can pull it out. This was the vanity unit that was in the bathroom, just held on with screws into these battens. And then this is good solid plywood behind it, no evidence of any water damage, which is good. So when we build the shower, of course, we are going to be limited by this height, which I would guess is about 5 feet. So we're going to be showering sitting on the toilet with our feet in the shower pan. Yeah, it sounds strange, but I think we can do it. It's going to be fairly simple, but I think it'll work. So next job is get the seats out and take these side panels off, and then we'll see where we're up to next. So I shall be back in a bit. Oh, we're one step forward and two steps back. As you can see, the seat came out, but it won't go through the door. It's an unreclining seat and there's no way it's going to go through there. So it looks as though the dismantling of this cabinet here is going to happen a little bit sooner than I expected. So they must have put the seats in and then built the cabinet. Okay, it won't stop us. Let's get on and get this dismantled. It should just be a few screws. It doesn't look as though it's been nailed or glued, so it looks like it's just a bunch of Torx head screws. I will be back in a bit. Good morning. And we've just got a little bit further with the Rapido. So as you can see, the interior cabinet has been dismantled, and we're down now to just getting the chair out, which is the next job. So let me just crack on with that, get it out, and I'll show you what's next and some things I've just discovered. So that's the bench seat out. Not even sure what it was off originally, but it was bolted down to the floor here, and that's coming out, and then we'll get rid of that. Interestingly, we have some holes in the floor, which I think may be related to some seating. So I think in the original van, it had two facing seats which actually pivoted. So you could sit 4 people for travel, because the registration document does show it has enough seats for 4. So maybe see that's the fitting arrangement for that. Right, so discovery time. It actually looks a lot worse than it is, because I've had the damp meter on it and it is completely dry. So obviously what has happened in the past is that they've had a roof leak. Now, the wall over this side here has been replaced with ply, and if I look outside onto the roof, that is some sort of tape that has been applied, but it's quite a long time ago. And it covers all of this front area. So up to the back there. So therefore, this just taking this paper off here, yes it has, they are, it's just revealing plywood underneath. So that will all come out. I'll clean all that up. And then it comes on to the next question as to what do we do with this. As I spoke the other day, I'm talking about taking the shower and moving it down to here, and then putting a Thetford cassette toilet, which is going to sit in there. And then this side here was all going to be panelled off, and the entrance was going to be in this way. I've had a bit of a rethink. I think that if we moved this shower down and put the Thetford toilet in there, but left the door coming in from this way, so there would be a solid panel running down here, or there actually. I wonder if there's going to be enough room for a Murphy bed type arrangement, so we could actually put a second single bed in here. Maybe it would also create some chairs. So not only would we be able to sit at the back, we could always sit at the front. I'm going to think about it to get my design head on, because we could, this will be dead space here anyway, because of the window. Not that we need to keep the window active. Think. So if I had a bed arrangement that came up here to there, which then would fold down as half a bed. And then I did exactly the same thing over here and brought that down as half a bed. That then, along there, would give me a single bed. Now, I think from my calculations, it's going to be about 22 inches across. And I thought that's a bit narrow for a single bed. However, if you travel first class on Lufthansa, the bed they give you is 20 inches wide. So it'll be a bit like flying first class. Maybe we could do that. Interesting. I've just found another label. I don't know what this is saying, but let's have a look. I don't know. I'm going to have to investigate that. Yeah, unknown. The other thing that has been done is this ceiling has been replaced, as you can see, with OSB. And so I'm going to have to pull that down just to make sure that what's underneath it is reasonable. And then my dear wife has asked me if I can create something along here so she doesn't hit her head on this sharp edge. I think I can do that. I think this is going to get covered in some sort of fabric with a foam backing. And I think I can create, excuse me, I can create a piece of protection along here using foam insulation, not foam insulation, pipe insulation. Piece of pipe insulation there with wrapped with fabric, and it'll stop it from banging her head so much. So yes, we'll get that done. But I do need to think about wallpapering or sorting out that at some point. Clean it all up. Anyway, that's the plan. The floor's coming up. This is all going away because they didn't do the full floor. It looks like these are, yeah, I did actually just vinyl sheet. Okay, so that's going to come up nice and easily. And I'm going to put some vinyl planking down, the thin stuff. Keep the weight down as well. Although having removed that double seat there, it has saved me quite a bit of weight. That was heavy. The other thing we've got on today is all of the cushions are there. They've all been done. So the cushion covers are in washing. The foam is in good condition, but that's going to be replaced. So they're 13 centimeters thick. So I'm having 10 centimeters of heavy foam or thick foam. What do they call it? Dense foam. And then 3 inches of memory foam, sorry, 3 centimeters of memory foam over the top of that. Made to the same sizes. So that should give us a little bit more comfortable sleeping arrangements. So that's about it at the moment. Just cracking on with a few more jobs. But the next thing is going to be dismantling the rest of the shower, removing it all to be able to see where we can fit it, and then making some decisions about what we're going to do with this space. So come back for the next episode. I'll try and make it as quick as possible, but I'm out here at 7 o'clock in the morning because it's the only cool time of the day at the moment. So I have to limit myself to how much we can work outside. Anyway, off to do the next piece, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching.